Home Secretary has said that because of repeated Gaza demonstrations, which has a fearful effect on the Jewish community, particularly after the Manchester attacks, she's giving more power to the police to restrict demonstrations because of the cumulative effect of the continuing demonstrations.
There are more than a dozen Palestine solidarity demonstrations this October the 7th on British university campuses. Now, that is something that Prime Minister Keir Starmer says is un-British. He says it's a total loss of empathy and humanity.
Her decisions will be challenged in court. What lies behind asks, what is she accumulating and what is the cumulative effect of her decisions? There are 5 examples. 1, make an enemy of success. The Palestinian Solidarity Campaign has been highly successful in mounting many years of demonstrations of millions of people and mobilizing them against Israeli policy, and also influencing MPs so that eventually it became policy of the government to recognize Palestine as a sovereign state. 2, spread fear, suggest that the marches are hate marches when they're not, and that chants like From the River to the Sea are anti-Semitic. Without checking that, there are, in similar language, a foundational principle of the right-wing party in Israel, Likud, which wants a Jewish state from the Jordan to the Med. 3, use Trump's playbook. Use language like un-British, the Gaza demonstrations around the time of the Manchester attacks, without recognizing the British values of fairness, equality, and actually standing up against injustice. 4, use lazy thinking for easy listening. The Jewish people are fearful. Which Jewish people? They're not a uniform group. Does she mean the Jews who deny apartheid in the treatment of Palestinians, or genocide or occupation, or the conditions which created the appalling October 7th attacks? Does she mean the Jewish minister who invited Tommy Robinson to speak in Israel as a friend of Israel? Most of the Jewish people I know are not anxious. They are angry and anti-Zionist, and they will continue to demonstrate against the Israeli subjugation and displacement of the Palestinian people.
All right, Zoe, we're here today in Trafalgar Square, hundreds of people holding up signs. Each of them will need to be arrested under the terror law. Now, the Home Secretary and the Met have both said the police are overstretched, that this protest should have been cancelled because of the heinous attack in Manchester earlier this week at a synagogue. What do you think about that? Should this be going on?
Honestly, I find it incredibly hard to deal with. As a Jewish person born and bred in Greater Manchester, I find it very distressing. I'm very distressed and upset and grieving about what happened in Manchester on Thursday at the synagogue, the atrocity there. And I'm also grieving and distressed about the genocide in Gaza for the last 2 years, as have millions and millions of people.
While any anti-Semitism is unacceptable, one of the biggest volumes of claimed anti-Semitism is conflating criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism and with the actions of the Israeli state itself. 5, the Home Secretary's, is that leadership or followership? She seems to have been previously a friend of Palestine, but nobody gets a senior job in Starmer's government without being a friend of Israel and a likely Zionist. So it's obvious that she would ignore recent policy changes about recognizing Israel's genocide in Gaza and also the recognition of Palestine as a sovereign state. Her leadership? Well, this is an opportunity to challenge a major historical injustice for many years in the recognition and the backing of a Palestinian state. So don't be fooled, this is followership, and likely that it is another Labour Home Secretary going further right and further wrong. So let's look at the overall cumulative effect. What is the cumulative effect of bombing an area for 2 years, more bombs in it than the whole of Germany in the Second World War, of the killing or injuring of 10% of the Gaza population, and of the killing of one child every hour for 2 years? That's 2,000 deaths. And the cumulative effect of not demonstrating is to allow these injustices to occur and the causes for them, the occupation and displacement of Palestinians. So as long as these injustices occur and their root cause, demonstrations will occur. So some people might say, well, that's just how it is, the death of democracy, if we let it. On the other hand, democracy works. These demonstrations work, and they keep injustices in the public eye until they're actually tackled. So demonstrate and be proud of how your democracy works. Be active. Be proud of your voice. Let's stop the dehumanizing displacement and genocide of Palestinians. Raise your voice. Active democracy is working. And ask yourself, what is the cumulative effect of such collective actions? What can you do? No justice, no peace.